Hi there everyone, and welcome to the latest tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can easily use Illustrator to add dimensions to your pavilion. Before we get started, let's just pop down here and let's see if I can do a better job of explaining scale, but more importantly how we're going to use scale in our pavilion design. So in architecture we work in millimetres. Common scale used by architects is 1 to 100. Other ones also include 1 to 20 and 1 to 50. Now, for this particular pavilion, and especially for your floor plan, I'd like you to work at a scale of 1 to 100. What does that mean? Well, every 1 centimetre that we draw is going to equal 100 centimetres. Converting this into millimetres is 10 millimetres to 1,000 millimetres. So let's see if we can make more sense of that. The size of the site that we are working with is 14 by 14 millimetres. Every centimetre drawn on this page, which I'm about to show you, is actually going to equal a metre. So 14 centimetres equals 14,000 millimetres. And I'd like to point out and send a big cheerio and a big thank you to Kerry Kang for pointing this out, my little mistake or my big mistake that I had on the board today. So thanks Kerry for picking that up. So glad to have you in the class. Moving on though, let's just scroll down and let's start adding our dimensions. So first of all, this is my pavilion looking down. I do want these to be solid walls. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to ungroup them because I've actually got it all grouped. I'm going to actually make these solid. So I need to get rid of all of this, and everybody's going to have to ignore the sounds of my children in the background. But we'll just go here now, and we're going to make that a solid black. Now I could go and click them all. What I can do that's nice and quick is select that, hold down the shift key, select another one, and I can use my dropper tool and bang, they're all done. This square that's going around the outside, it helped me make sure that my curvy organic design did sit between or sit in a 14 by 14 metre grid. But I want to keep it on there, but I really will sort of want this box to sort of be like a site plan or a site area, not my pavilion. So I've selected it and I'm going to go down to my stroke menu, I'm going to put it onto dashes, and I'm happy to leave it as the default dash, and then I'm going to actually make it a pale grey. Okay, problem here. Simply switch them over and let's get rid of the fill colour, and then let's see what it looks like. Alright, pretty happy with that. Going to group them all and group, done. And then, last but not least, I'm actually going to lock it to the desktop so it doesn't move. Now I really am ready to go. Now there's lots of ways that you guys can do this. Just going to bring this one here to the front. And you know what? I might actually make it a blue colour so it looks different to what I'm doing and it will stand out. And then later on I can change my blue dimension lines back into black. But I think I'll leave it on blue so that you guys can all see what I'm doing. Alright, one of my tricks, and again as I was just starting to say before I interrupted myself, is that there are lots of tricks that you can do, and this is just one of my favourites. So I'm just going to draw a line, and now, oops, I've still got it on dashes, get rid of that, thanks. So with my line, I'm now actually going to go over and I'm going to look for my transform. Now, sometimes your transform is actually sitting here, okay? Mine's not. I suspect mine might actually be over here, and it is. If you can't find your transform, then just go to Windows up the top. So I'm going to select it. Can you see the height is actually just under 19 millimetres? I want to change that to 10 and hit return. That is now a 10 millimetre tall line. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to use this. It's going to be my little friendly guide. And see, it sits on top like that. Now I'm going to whack in a couple of whoops, a daisy. Hate it when it does that. Pen tool. Just need a couple of horizontal lines for the moment. And I'm going to pop this little guy, ta-da, like that. And I need another one, don't I? See, and because I've got my guides on, it actually clicks and selects. So I'm going to need 3. Okay, I'm going to need 3. So nearly there. Let's copy and paste another one. And done. Now I'm going to move my little guides because you know what? I might use them down below or on the sides and just put them out of the way. These here are my dimension lines. All right. Now I'm going to pop in my projection lines. So add my pen tool. And what I really love about this, it'll just sort of connect onto the side here. And I can go up like this. That is my projection line. I don't really want my projection lines touching. So I'm actually sort of going to just sit them there like that. Now I need another one of these dudes. Now sometimes you can just copy and paste them. And then can you see this is for this one. This part here sticks out the most. But you know what? I'm going to put that down here. But for the moment, I am going to put this here like so. All right, now we can zoom in and we'll finish this off. I'm going to take this, zoom right in, and I don't want it to move on us. And we'll move this one in. Now it's working nicely for me. Okay, see, doesn't touch, and here it just hangs over. Traditionally we say 1 millimeter and 2 on the end. I don't mind what you do as long as it looks good. Alright, now it's these guys here, same thing. I'm going to move that to, should go click, it does. Oops. And we're going to go click. And we're going to go click. Again, watch this. I like this. I can actually bring that down and it should connect with what I've gone over there. Nope, it's making a liar out of me. So we just, aha. There, okay, so that's really nice. So you end up with the same heights. And that's looking good too. Now I'm up to putting some numbers on. Before I go anywhere though, we want to make these lines, I mean they will end up being black, but we also want to make these dimension lines, these projection lines, lighter obviously than this, but also lighter weight than that. So I'm going to just select them like so, and then we're going to go to our stroke menu. At the moment they're on 0.353. I'm just going to go down a little bit, maybe to something 0.2. So they're just a bit finer looking, and when they're black though, they're more likely to sort of stand out and not fight with the main object, which is your drawing. So now to finish it off, first of all, I'm going to grab another line like this. This is going to be my, I guess my guiding tool. And let's put some dimensions in. So on the first line, I want to put in what's pretty much happening here on the object. Second line, what's sort of going on internally. And the third line, it's going to be the total. So looking at this one here, I can actually do perhaps something here like this. Okay. And now we'll zoom in. All right. And I don't really need this. That's going to go here, and then this is going to come down here like that. So that's my first little dash. Okay, everybody? Now let's do the next one. So again, pen tool, draw ourselves a nice big straight line. Whoops. One line. And then here, what's the next thing happening? It's here, isn't it? So I'm going to select. Really not enjoying my new keyboard, everybody. That's going to go here. And I'm going to, and look at that, it magically lines up. And then that like that. Where's our next one? Let's get ourselves a nice straight line. Done. And we're going to come over to here, and that's our next part that sticks out the most. Again, we'll finish this off like this. Beautiful. Now, architects don't use arrows. I'm going to show you how to do the 45-degree dashes. I take one of these little guys, copy and paste it. Then I go up to Object and I go to Transform and Rotate. And we're going to rotate it 45 degrees. That's still the wrong direction. So I'm just going to keep rotating it. So we want to start from the right to the left. And we pick this little baby up. And that's going to sit there like that. And then I need to copy and paste it. And sometimes it's way easier to do this by zooming in. Beautiful. Copy and paste it. Like so. And I need another 2. So I'm going to need 1 for here. And I'm going to need 1 for here. Zoom out again. And we're looking good. So in other words, these little dashes, so they act as like a replacement arrowhead. So I can now put in a measurement from here, and 1 here, and 1 here, and 1 here. So just quickly, what I'm going to do now is on the next line, I am going to show, I can show the internal the internal space between, let's say, here and here. And I could also show perhaps the internal space between here and here. On a real pavilion, a real set of floor plans, we would have multiple layers of different measurements and dimensions. So all I'm looking for you guys to do is on that middle line is just to show some internal dimensions around about here. When you come to this side, you'll do some for here. When you come to this side, you'll do some for here, etc. Now, the last one is the total. Now to finish off, I want to show you a couple of more little cheeky tricks that you can do. First of all, I'm going to select all of this, copy and paste it. All right, and then what I can actually do is I can go up to Object, Transform, and I can go Reflect. And which way do I want to reflect? This one. And I can go OK. Then I can pick these up and I can pretty much pop them there. All you've got to do now is change these little guys along here so that they reflect that. We can also paste again, and then I can go Object, Transform, and I can go Rotate, and this time we can go 90 degrees. And we can then place these over here. Again, all you've got to do is make these little changes. And you know what? Let's do one more. Paste, and we'll go Object, Transform, and Rotate. 90. We'll have to do it 1, 2 more times. And then, oops, grab, oh, for goodness sake, we'll grab, you've got to just love a mouse pad that you don't know how to use. And we'll pop that there. So all I've got left to do is make these little changes. So you can actually see it's quite quick to dimension. And of course, I'll make these all black lines. Now, how do you put those pesky numbers on? And I'll just show you, and then we'll finish up for here.